All right, hello everybody. So we are alive here with Town Council President John J. Tassoni Jr. Over here, let me see if I get the cameras right. We have B Dog as always, and hello Joe Siegel, everybody. So Joe Siegel was a reporter, right?
Yes,
What?
correct. Smithfield Times.
Yeah, reporter for Smithfield Times. B Dog, obviously, with the hiking videos and all that.
Hello.
Last but not least, hello Town Council President Tony.
Thank you for having me.
All right, yeah, no problem, brother. So I wanted to ask, did a little bit of research on you.
Oh no! Oh
All,
no!
all good things came up though. I had a good friend of mine, Kevin Butera, had hooked me up with your number. We spoke a little bit and we decided to do this. The idea was given to me by you, Joe. Do an episode about do we have an overdose problem that happens here? Preventable overdoses. I forget what was the word again we talked about.
Non-fatal overdoses.
So I guess this town has had some non-fatal overdoses, and we wanted to just have a professional here that knows about what's going on.
I have a question.
So, yeah, what's up,
about that. We have a definition of what a non-fatal overdose is.
It's an overdose with that people don't die; they get saved by Narcan.
Okay.
But we have had a number of fatal overdoses in Smithfield.
Okay, so you are part of some type of a program or something. What is Train RI? Because I see you pulled it up on the laptop.
Well, I'm the president and CEO of the Substance Use Mental Health Leadership Council. We had the state grant to provide trainings for people who needed CEUs to maintain their licenses, clinicians, and we lost that grant to a Boston outfit with no footprint in Rhode Island. So I had to lay off my whole staff. So I came up with this idea of Train RI to start our own trainings now, which is doing very well. We have over 60 people last week take a training for CEUs to maintain their licenses. The people who are clinicians need so many CEUs per year in order to maintain their license.
Okay, CEU. What does that stand for people that don't know?
That's like a an A, B, or a C in school. You needed CEUs, continuing education.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand now. Okay, so, but you seem to be very involved with social services. Why are you passionate about this subject? Because you could have chosen anything to go into. You could have, it's kind of like when the First Lady goes into bullying or health or something. What made you choose this type of social services to concentrate on?
Yeah, I'll go back a few years ago. I was a printer by trade. I used to print the Topps baseball cards, and then I ended up becoming the president of the union back in the 90s, and then I left. Because Quebecor came in and bought the facilities and ended up closing them down, so they laid everybody off. And I went in a different direction. I ended up being a business agent for the state union, and then I was there for 9 years, and then I went on my own. But going back to the original question they asked me, I had a family member who was had an issue with alcohol. It was not a good scene. The long and short of the story was, I left at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was my father's business with my uncle. I went to pick up a diamond because I was getting engaged. Came home, showed my mother and father the diamond, and my father said, "You need to sit down." I said, "Well, what's the problem?" He said, "The bank came in and closed us up." So at 19 years old, I never went to college because I had a family business I was going into. I was like yours, family business, and I had nowhere to go, and I had a scratch and claw, and my ex-wife at the time worked for Amica, and I ended up with an interview the following week with Amica. I ended up pumping gas on Baker Street, pumping gas at 19.
Was that considered a prestigious job back then?
No, it wasn't prestigious at all. I mean, I had no training other than the jewelry business that my father owned. So I had to start all over again at 19, and I was getting married at the same time. So, and I remember the issue with alcohol and gambling, and it just stuck with me. And then I had the opportunity when I got elected in the Senate in 2000. I started serving in 2001. My focus was substance use and mental health, along with senior issues and animal issues. And I stayed with that for 12 years. And when I got out of the General Assembly, the Substance Use and Mental Health Leadership Council asked me to come on board, which I did part-time, plus I had my own business. And then I rose through the ranks over there, and now I'm the president and CEO. And I lobby at the State House for stuff for substance use and mental health. Also have a TV show now called Recovery TV. Prior to that, I had a radio show called Recovery Radio. I did that for 9 years, but we made the switch because I could get in front of more people with the TV. I mean, it was hard. It was hard getting sponsors and trying to sell the product, as you well know.
Oh, you definitely
And it did, and it actually took off to the point where I can't take any more sponsors. I'm sold out.
I got you. Well, thank you for your hard and brave work. I do like the type of work you're doing. Joe, is this think this is a good service he's providing here? What do you think? Is this guy doing an all right job for the town?
Absolutely.
I wanted to
Absolutely.
ask if you have anything to say, or I wanted to ask him a question here about his opinion on this. I remember seeing in the news. I remember it was controversial. But I want to know about you because I don't work in this field and I really don't know anything about it. I've never had a substance abuse issue. So for
Substance use.
for a substance use issue.
Can I actually ask about that? Why
Sure.
why do you change the definition from abuse to
I didn't
why
change
did
it.
they
They changed it
definition?
because it's a disease. It's not an abuse. It's a disease. That's why they changed it.
I always would thought that like a substance use would be like you have a beer at a football game or something, right? Substance abuse would be like you have a 12-pack every night.
Right.
Is there still that distinction?
No,
or
it's just
do they-
still the same. Still the
Okay.
same. It's things about like words matter.
Mm-hmm.
So they changed it from abuse to use. And they actually changed it in the law, and they also changed it at Department of Health.
I have heard that substance use disorder now. I've
Right.
heard that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically, it is correct. It's use, and if it helps people and is safe for people to use it like that, then that's fine. But
Well, medically, yeah.
I
This is the,
I want to ask. I'm pretty sure it's active now. How do we feel about the safe injection sites that they opened in Providence? Is that a positive thing? Will it encourage anybody, or what do you think? How do you feel about that?
I'll be honest with you. I was involved in that. I was the gentleman who said that they should do a issue of part time. We'll use that word. Not go in full boat to see how it worked, like a pilot program.
Okay.
And they took it and they ran with it, and they ended up with a pilot program. And now, from what I understand, I'm not involved with it on a day-to-day basis. They're getting a lot of people a lot of help. If you bring them in and to the safe injection sites and they're using, you have an audience by themselves, so you can talk to them about trying to get help and trying to get them into recovery. And that has, from what I've been told, it's working. It's working. People are getting off their use of whatever substance they're using and going into treatment.
That was one thing that I actually had thought of. If they responsibly, say, legalized the use or allowed them to have a place like that, that when you go there, it's like, okay, look, we know you're going to use it, but here's the deal. We specialize in this and we want to help you.
Right.
So,
Right. 100%.
instead of them being under the supervision of the drug dealer or other users, they're now under the supervision of a medical care, which could be a positive.
Correct.
You know.
100%.
So I think overall net it would be a positive thing because it'll help you control the situation, right? It's not supposed to be encouraging to it. It's supposed to be, if something happens here, we have medical professionals so that we're not going to lose you, and that
And plus, I got to interject here. They use safe drugs. You're not taking the drugs from the street.
Oh, they're providing them with them too.
Here's the problem.
I didn't even know that.
Here's the problem.
Okay, what's up?
DEA has gone way to the left on this opioid prescriptions. There's been doctors that have been thrown in jail in the Midwest for writing too many scripts. Doctors here are afraid to write scripts for opioids, i.e. myself. I had a surgery in October. I was given 8 Oxycontins for pain.
Why so little?
That's the law. DEA's regulations. So now people are saying, I still have so much pain, I need to get more pain meds. They call the doc. The doc says, I can't give you any more pain meds because I'm being regulated because everything's going to the computer now with all the scripts that are being written. Okay, so now they're going to the street. Now we have fatal overdoses. And we're seeing a lot not necessarily in Smithfield, but in other communities, a lot of these senior centers, senior high-rises, who are being looked at as a safe place for drug dealers to go and to sell their stuff. And John, I'll use my words, John, 67-year-old, I just had shoulder surgery, I'm living in a high-rise, I'm tremendous amount of pain, I can't take any more meds. Boom, I go to the street.
Yeah.
Joe sells me a couple of Oxycontins that are laced with fentanyl. I go back, I take them, I die. Guess what? You're under doctor's care, so more than not, there's no autopsy. So they think you died of either a heart attack or something else, and you're not recorded as a person who died of an overdose.
And I wanted to say something about that, which I didn't understand this till it was explained to me. If you go buy a pill, say you have a prescription for it and you realize you need more, so they're on oxys, and then you go to buy one, say, oh, Johnny down the street says he has oxys, I'll buy some. When they actually make them, they press them to look just like an oxy, but the actual things that are inside there may not exactly be that. It may be laced
100%.
with the fentanyl. So even though you're buying the exact same thing you had in a bottle, and you're assuming he got it from a doctor, he didn't. He pressed that, or got it somewhere pressed that had it laced.
You can actually buy pill machines online. Counterfeit pill machines online, and put whatever you want to put in that mix, and that press makes it the pill look exactly like an Oxycontin or a Tylenol or anything else like that.
So tell me, Mr. Tassoni, what did anything happen?
John's fine.
All right. So John, tell me what was that story you were just telling me a second ago? I want you to repeat that.
So a
please.
few months ago, we had an issue with 3 gentlemen in a car who got in a bad car accident pertaining to an overdose. 2 gentlemen in the back seat were actually dead, and the driver was overdosing and he hit a pole. When the police arrived, they saved all 3 with Narcan. So there is a problem. Now, they weren't from Smithfield. I have to be clear on that. But it's everywhere. Overdose does not discriminate. Overdose can happen. Me and you talking. I said, if you go in my bag right now, I got Narcan in my bag. I carry it wherever I go.
You're pointing to your bag in here. You have it on you in person.
I
there?
do. Let me get it.
I've never even seen it. I don't know if it's like a little asthma thing. I have no idea what it is. All right, let's look at it.
This is the box of Narcan. I'll take it out. Very simple to use. Everybody is trained. A lot of people are trained on it. This is what it looks like.
It looks like almost like allergy medication or
So
something.
it's a nostril. You give it in the nostrils. Once on each nostril to start. Sometimes they come out. Sometimes they don't. But the opioids now are so potent. It could take up to 7, 8, 9 squeezes on this in each nostril to bring someone out of an overdose.
All right, so we're dealing with a bigger and bigger enemy here with this stuff's getting more potent, and so, okay. I remember that, and then when it first came out, they were saying, oh, 1 squeeze, this guy's good, 1 squeeze. And you're saying it's multiple now. So that's changed. Like, the world is changing so quick on
The world is
this.
changing. Any molecule that they change on an opioid can devastate people. If you have the tip of your pen, look at the tip of your pen. If you put fentanyl on that tip of that pen, that could kill somebody.
So pure
fentanyl
just on
the tip of that pen can kill somebody.
And when they lace things, obviously we know why they lace things to more profits or whatever, because it's not regulated. They'll have that watered down so much, but since they're not regulated, they're not measuring this right. The measurement's always different. You have no idea what they're doing for a process to spread that out, and then you'll get one piece that's way overpowered, and that's where you run the problem.
Yeah, I mean, the drug dealers and people who deal in this industry, I don't know how they think that putting that much fentanyl in the place, you're killing your people who buy. You're killing them. We've had over 400 a few years ago, and it's come down a little bit because of the Narcan.
You say 400, you mean like
deaths? 400 deaths in Rhode Island.
So just in Rhode Island, so if you think about that, do you even know, I can't even name 400 people. Think about lining up 400 people in an auditorium, right? Like, what's the capacity for the Smithfield Town Hall? It's probably like 190. Think about 400 people. That's packed. 400 people gone because of this issue. Do you have any?
Joe's got some statistics because we worked together when Joe worked for me on the Smithfield Times. We did a couple of stories about overdose, and actually what I did was I put a picture of an ostrich with his head in the sand. You remember that, Joe? Because people don't realize that this is a deadly composition. When you have that many people die of an overdose, it's an epidemic. If you had 400 people die of a heart attack or die of diabetes, that would raise a red flag. Obviously, it was until the story broke with all these people making Oxycontins, and then now the drug dealers putting fentanyl in it. It's exploded. You know, when I first started in this industry, it was 1 in 5 families were affected. Now we're 1 on 1. Almost everyone, every family knows someone who is either overdosed, who has died, who has an addiction.
That number 400 station nightclub fires. I think it was 100.
100.
Think about that. It's like 4 station nightclub fires in a year in the States. A lot.
Yep.
Joe, what do we got for stats here?
The Centers for Disease Control reported a decrease of almost 27% overdose deaths in 2024. There were 80,391 drug overdose deaths in the United States during 2024, a decrease of 26.9% from the 110,037 deaths estimated in 2023. Now, there were states that saw decreases: Louisiana, Michigan, New Hampshire, Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Washington, D.C. They experienced declines of 35% or more. In contrast, South Dakota and Nevada had slight increases compared to the same period in 2023. There were 48,000 deaths in 2024 from synthetic opioids, meaning fentanyl. In 2023, there were 76,282 deaths. Psychostimulants, including methamphetamine, 29,456 deaths in 2024. In 2023, there were over 37,000. Cocaine, 22,174 deaths in 2024. In 2023, there were over 30,000. So that's some of the data according to the CDC. So the rates did drop, but still a lot of people.
Well, the rates dropped because of this. That's why the rates dropped. Not because people have stopped taking opioids.
So the use can be going up, but the actual death.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And Rhode Island's down 7% on fatal overdoses, but they're not down on overdoses. They're down on fatal overdoses.
So what he's explaining to people is that the actual use rate can go up and over. Now remember, the act of an overdose is. Help me clarify. It's when a person becomes unconscious from the use of a substance. So that rate can go up, but the overdose, which is the death, can go lower because Narcan's more prevalent around here. Okay.
You know how I can tell that there's not any. Is less than what people are saying it is.
How?
You call me tomorrow morning and you say, John, I need a bed for my friend, and I'm gonna say, Nick, you're gonna have to wait 3 or 4, maybe even 5 days before I can get you a bed.
You're referring to a place to stay, or is that what you mean?
Residential treatment.
Oh, okay.
There's hardly any beds available because we have that much of a problem. And as I said before, alcohol now has surpassed opioid use. So now I'm dealing with overdoses. I'm dealing with, not me, but the residential treatment folks are dealing with alcohol poisoning, liver issues, kidney issues. Now, a lot of my folks now can't do that medical stuff. They only can do detox, residential treatment, get you in a group and talk about your issues. But if you're really sick, you're going to hospital. You're going to hospital, where that costs a lot of money.
Yeah,
a lot of money.
It's very easy to get put into medical debt. I wanted to say something that it's also important. It's like this is something that there's a lot of work to be done. But if there was a way to magically snap your fingers and reduce the demand for these things that usually, I would assume they usually do come from overseas, these substances, you know, and like you said, they change a molecule or whatever, or if it comes smuggled or, you know, the molecules change. I remember there was things like the fake THC or whatever. They would change a certain molecule, they can ship it again till the government gets on their ass and changes that law, then they change another molecule. But is there anything to do to reduce the demand for these things even coming in? What I mean is that people aren't going to party with fentanyl and overdosing. It's laced in these other things. So how can, this is like the oldest question. How do you reduce people's want for these other things, these other types of stimulants or whatever, whether it's in a cocaine or a substance they're using? How can we reduce that? I mean, we have to go back in time and make their parents have an easier life for them and then make them not have, you know, be upset about this. Like, how do we do this?
Well, I think it starts with education. Okay, we don't have enough education in the schools anymore. We just legalized marijuana. I've met with the Cannabis Control Commission 3 times to get training, to get into the schools, to tell these kids about marijuana, cannabis.
The state legalized, I believe, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Right.
Okay, yes, Rhode Island.
And
yes.
and I haven't got a word back from them about training. All right, so they're making millions of dollars selling marijuana, and it's going in the state coffers. But we're not doing anything for treatment, prevention, or education.
You're saying that the profits from cannabis sales, which is taxed very highly, it should go towards
Not all of it. Not all of it. I'm not being a pig about it. I work with a lot of prevention groups. The prevention groups want a little bit of what they're taking in to go into the schools and talk about substance use and mental health issues and about cannabis. You know, if we don't get them when they're young and they get addicted to it and they go to other drugs, then there's a drain on the state's budget, on the Medicare and Medicaid end of the state's budget. You know, it's something that I don't think they're thinking about. I think education helps. I'll give you for instance. So we had the mock car crash a few weeks ago at the high school.
Yes, I remember they did that when I was in high school. I'm
Right.
surprised they're still doing that. Okay.
So it went very well. So at night, I was the MC. We talked about substance use and mental health issues in the school. Yeah, we have 22,000 people in Smithfield. You know how many parents came to that meeting? One. Think of that. One. You know why? It'll never happen to me. You know what'll happen? Let me tell you both of you something. Not lately, but when I first got into this business, I was going to 1 to 2 wakes a week of people dying of an overdose. We've had some in Smithfield. I'm not going to say any names, but we had some in Smithfield. Again, it doesn't discriminate. But parents have got to be more vigilant and watch what their kids are doing when they have too much free time. Too much free time.
The parents aren't always aware of what's going on. Is anything going on, Joe? Are you affected? Joe, are you affected by anybody? Do you know anybody that's had an issue with this or
No, I have
substance
not,
use?
but I know that Woonsocket has had extremely high number of overdoses. I think the highest in the state. I don't know why. I don't know what the factors are. It might be, lack of employment opportunities. There might be family problems. But it's being overlooked by our state government. This is a big problem, and it's something we need to address. You know, you can't ignore it because it's not going away.
So that means a lot to me, Joe, because you were passionate about this issue, and you weren't even, your family wasn't even directly affected. So people around you, weren't close to anybody who was, had an overdose or anything like that. So you really just care about the wellness of the town. It seems like, huh?
I read a book by Philip Isle called Prescription for Pain. It was about a doctor who went to a college with his father. He ran a pill mill in Ohio, and they would write prescriptions, hundreds of prescriptions a day for OxyContin, and people died. people died because he wanted to make a lot of money, and the whole communities have been devastated by these pill mills, because doctors with no morals, no ethics, they write prescriptions to people, and they die, and it's a crime, and it's devastated towns all over this country, and we don't want it to happen here. You know, it shouldn't happen anywhere. But people, as long as people can make money selling these drugs to people, you know, and there's a market for it, they're going to do it. And it's horrible. It's horrible that lives have been destroyed by opioids.
And
That's something we need to
you
tell
and you
people
see
about.
when the police make a bust, right?
Is that when there's a car in front and like three
Yeah.
police behind
Well,
it?
whatever. Whenever they make a bust, you look what they maintain. They take out of their bust. Thousands upon thousands of dollars in cash. Thousands upon thousands of pills. Like Joe said, it's a business for them, and unfortunately, it's taking lives. Instead of like your business that delivers sand and gravel, or my business that helps people get their CEUs in order to maintain their licenses. The system, until the system at high levels of government figure this out, more and more people are getting in the racket. It's easy money. They don't have to work for a living like you and I.
Okay.
You can just drive around the street with your car with fentanyl in it and pills in it,
Yeah.
and sell it like a food truck. And that's the killer. And as Joe said in Woonsocket, you know, I get alerts when there's fatal overdoses or regular overdoses on my phone from the Department of Health. Anyone can get them. And we just had one here probably about a month ago, an alert for Smithfield, Burrillville, and I believe it was Gloucester. And the actual issue happened in Gloucester. But it's like that all over the place. It's not going away. You know, I always say on my TV show, I hope someday somebody comes to that door and knocks on the door and says, John, we don't need your recovery TV anymore.
That'd be great.
That would be the happiest day of my life. When you go from 1,000 people on the radio to close to 10,000 people a week watching the show, there's a problem. There is an actual problem.
This is going to sound like a crazy question, but are you so dedicated to this that even if you get the news, somebody in a different town or in Providence or somewhere that is against you politically, that talks crap about your campaign, your re-election campaign,
Politics is not in this realm of my business.
it's about
This is
humans.
about human lives and people surviving and people getting help, people getting treatment, people become in a place of recovery, and they can go to work every day and become productive citizens. I had a kid on my show 22 times he overdosed. Now think of this, 22 times he was dead.
It's a miracle.
And he came back. And you know what? The kid's the biggest advocate. The kid is the biggest advocate. So that right there, I know every night when I go home after a day at work, at my work, not politically, what I do for a living, I can put my head on the pillow every night and said, I tried to save somebody. I did save somebody. I've gotten calls from Las Vegas. I've gotten calls from all over the country of people who have relatives here in Smithfield, Providence, Woonsocket, Warwick. Thank you for helping my son, my grandson, my niece, my nephew. That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, like, I feel similar about with my news thing. I will interview anybody, even if there was somebody that had called the cops on me, that caused me stress, or that I'm extremely ideologically opposed to, because it's just a non-biased news. It's just reporting. It's not, oh, what do I think that we should be telling these, right? It's like so difficult to remain, I call it, I don't know what the word is, but like fair or non-biased, but it's like a skill. Some people can turn it on. It's like you seem to be pretty good at it. some people cannot turn it on. They think in binarily. I think humans always think binary. You for me or against me? Oh, that happened to you? Ha, good. You're against me. Now I win. It's not about the win thing. It's a cause, right? So you and I have a cause. Like Joe has a cause. Like Joe reports. You know, I kind of do somewhat like amateur reporting video, and you have that cause. It's great. So anything we'll sum up this issue, and then just for a couple minutes in the end, let's talk about just some fun stuff. Some fun things like the pizza I wanted to mention, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, so to summarize it, I guess what I like to do is when we sum up an issue, I'll do like I call it closing statements just for this. So I'll say what I thought about this thing we were discussing. You can say what you think, and anything, and you say a little closing argument, right? So I guess for me, I guess there was stats I didn't realize. The huge thing is that you can have use go up and overdose go down. Okay,
fatal overdoses go down.
There's 3 words. We have the actual use. We have the overdose, which is the act of the person becoming unconscious, unresponsive, and then we have the fatal overdose, which is the last thing to happen that we really want to avoid. So those 3 terms is a better tool for understanding this subject. And I did want to say, yes, I remember in the Smithfield page someone offering meet you anywhere anonymously Narcan. I'll give it to you. I won't ask any questions. I'll even leave in the bushes for you. Just we want these people to have it. It's almost like when people argue why we should always have somebody carrying in a school to prevent this, or in a big public area like carrying a firearm. Well, it's like, oh well, this is like a powerful tool too. If everybody's carrying that, imagine you don't have to make a call that takes 10 minutes. So what a great tool to have. Like you can empower yourself just by having that little box right there in your bag. So that's awesome.
Well, the other thing too is you're covered by the Good Samaritan law with this by you implementing this on a person.
They're not going to go back.
Nobody can die from this, even if it's not an overdose. When you find somebody laying on the ground and you hit them with this, it's not going to hurt them.
Are you referring to I'm not going to get
Narcan
sued or something like that?
No, you're not going to get sued. They can't sue you.
All right. Well, I didn't even think. Sometimes I don't even think about that. Anyway, that's awesome. What do you think about the subject we were speaking about, Joe? What's up?
We need more funding for drug treatment programs and prevention. We need more education, obviously. We need to stop demonizing people who have addictions. It's very easy just to look down on other people and say, well, they can't control their life or whatever. But, they're human beings, and they use drugs under different circumstances, and we need to have more compassion to people who have addiction problems in our society, and stop looking down on them, because it could happen to anybody. It's a tragedy, but we need to spend more money and attention on this problem.
Very well said, Joe. Thank you for caring and being sounds like a good Samaritan there. Any summarizations for this whole thing, and then we'll do it like 10 minutes of some happy talk after that.
My summarization would be parents need to be more vigilant with their children, and the children that high school kids, and I said this the other night, the choices that you make today will affect you for the rest of your life. Whether it be alcohol, whether it be substance, whether it be criminal activity, it follows you for the rest of your life. So I would just urge the parents to be more vigilant. My number's on the town website. You can call me anytime. My office number is 401-521-5759. I got a message today from somebody on Messenger that needs to talk to me tomorrow about a family member. My phone is on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the more people I can get into treatment, the better off we'll be.
That sounds amazing. We have some live comments they have here. Just want to see Kevin Butera's watching. Okay, cool. Let me just read through this in case anybody wants us to answer anything live. We have, because I guess there's people watching here. So we have... Okay, so... Homeschooling online, but sadly not reimbursed. doing that for the ones without drug/alcohol addiction is a good answer. Plus, with camp/social skill activities, not sure what she's referring to. I think she's talking to somebody else. How about parents stop supplying and smoking with their kids? There's a start. Okay. I'm not going to say. I guess I won't say who's saying this stuff. Well,
No,
name's on there
you
anyway.
know what? They're right. I mean, you pull up to a stop sign now, all you can smell is marijuana coming out of the cars. Now, there could be children in the back. It's illegal, number one, because same thing as with cigarettes. You can't be smoking in a car with a child.
It says, so they're saying fentanyl is not illegal if managed by a physician. It's illegal when cut and put into other street drugs. It's a sad topic. I guess
That's correct.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
The
Okay.
hospitals administer fentanyl if you're going in for surgery. That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
It's when the drug dealers get it from China and other places, and they put it in to these makeshift pills.
Okay. How do we stop fentanyl from coming into the country? Sounds like I'd like the country and to keep this town. I think we can get a grip on the whole country. It's a rough one. All right. Wow. Okay. So that's it for. All right. So yeah, that's what it for live comments. Okay. Cool. So then I wanted to say, all right. Could you go on that Chromebook and go to Maps and just go over Smithfield and just type in pizza? And I just want to see what comes up. But do you? So I see the services you're doing, everything like that. But tell me about you personally. Like, you must do something for yourself that's fun. Like, do you do golfing, or do you brew your own beer or something, or what do you do for
No,
yourself?
I put people in treatment. I don't brew my own beer.
Yeah. Okay. For me, for fun is I like the little electric scooters. I take them to the park, take them to Lincoln Woods and stuff, and ride around there. I do the news channel is a big hobby that I like doing, keep myself busy, and this is always fun. And as you can see, like the cool ceiling and stuff, the way I like building these types of things. I do custom lighting, so all that custom stuff. But let's see what you get pulled. Anything pulled up yet? Oh, go to maps for me, please. Type in. See the map option. Under all, down to the right, yeah, right, bam. I'm always on Google Maps. All right. So what we're oh yeah, I forgot about Slice and Scoop. So all right. So is it cool if we just talk about pizza for a second?
Yeah.
I am going to soon be doing a video. It's going to be a lot to set up, but I'm going to be doing a video on Smithfield's Who Has the Best Pizza, and I'm going to get Smithfield residents who are really hungry and really like pizza, and I'm gonna bring it to them all hot, fresh, and ready from all the different ones in town. We're excluding chains, so a chain pizza restaurant is like a Domino's, something like that, because that's like a worldwide thing, right? Talking about local, right? So anyway, it's a change of topics here, but go to the map here. Okay, so scroll down. So with DiPetrillo's. I didn't know that Pappas has pizza too. Okay,
Yeah, they do.
Terrazza. I actually really like Terrazza. Scroll down for a little, yeah, if you can, Joe. Terrazza, Pizzoni's Chain, Tony's Pizza. Hold on. Where is Golden Pizza? I don't think that's in town, right? That must be over the line.
Waterman Avenue. That's in Smithfield.
It is still in Smithfield? Oh, okay. And then I think those might be... Oh, yeah, Wise Guys in Smithfield. Okay. I wouldn't consider... Either Wise Guys may have a couple locations. Are they a chain? They're right
Wise
there.
Guys, they're not a chain. He has multiple locations.
Okay,
But
yeah.
It's not a chain.
Yeah, it's not like a worldwide thing, like a nationwide thing. Okay. So, and then we have DiPetrillo's, I believe, is a cold pizza. So it's like adding a little...
You can get hot
Yeah.
pizza from them, too. They make their own, too.
Is it
Big sheet pizza.
but it's still square, right?
No.
Really?
No. They can make it oval, lengthwise. I've had it. Very good.
I would like... Alright, so if I were to cast a vote, I don't want to go negative. I don't want to say which one I don't like the most, but I'll say my top two favorites. Go back to that list, Joe. Type in... Yeah, okay, you did type in Smithfield. Alright, go to the top. Pizza, yeah, grab that little scroll bar there. Alright. If I were to cast a vote in town... Yeah, get down there. Okay, cool. I would actually probably say... You know, I was thinking, hold on, does Giuseppe's in Greenville have pizza? I think they do, but even though it might not show up on there, they technically do.
Yeah, they do.
When I do this story, I'm going to get every pizza you know, small and bring to the 5 people, and we have to do each one. They take the notes. They take the notes. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a fun little thing. You know. This is gonna be controversial, but I would actually say slice and scoop is my first choice. You guys can't see it, but his eyebrows raised over there. My second might be, I don't want to say right across the street. Imagine Taraz. It's like you're only gonna go 20 feet that way. It would probably be Di Petrillo's. I'd say number 1 is slice and scoop. Second is Di Petrillo's. Keep in mind they're different because I'm referring to cold Di Petrillo's square pizza. Okay, how many times were in high school and they bring that over? It's like, yeah, right. Okay, I apologize to anybody, but I am somewhat not a fan of Tony's Pizza on Stillwater. Now, the establishment, yes, I prefer not to get pizza from Tony's, and I'm sorry for anybody offended, but I'm allowed my opinion. I just wanted to say it. It doesn't mean don't go there. I always get their buffalo fingers, but for pizza, for me, it's not a thing. Joe, do you have any opinions on this topic?
I wish I did.
Do you eat pizza?
Yes.
Okay, he eats pizza, so there's a start. Okay. So?
We used to get it from Uno's, but they closed.
Okay, and you're talking about
So
deep
I'm looking for a new
dish.
place. I'm looking for a new place to get pizza.
Does anybody on the live want to recommend this man something to help him out? All right, we'll wait for them. All right, so listen, you can't make any enemies in town. Okay.
I can neither confirm or deny any pizza place.
Okay. Do you want to tell me a place that you've most recently been to get pizza? You don't have to say if it's your favorite or not. But
No,
what's the last place?
I mean, I don't. I order pizza, but I pick it up. I don't stay in an establishment, nor do I eat in the restaurants here, other than take takeout. There's a reason for that, because it's not conducive to privacy.
Conducive meaning, what does that word
I mean,
mean?
there's a lot of people that'll come up to you while you're eating. You know, they're garbage, their street lights out, their road is flooding, they got potholes, and it's very difficult to eat at dinner when you're
Oh, I see
having
what you mean.
all
Okay.
these people coming up. But
Oh.
it's no disrespect to anybody. I just don't do it.
Yeah, that's all right. You're allowed to eat pizza in peace if you want. You know what I mean? I know that you love the people, but you're allowed to have pizza in peace. I want to ask just do a couple quick things before we end this. There's questions for you personally. See what you just said? Say I ran for town council, I get into town council. People are going to come up to me and say, "Hey, we should supply sandbags at the fire department for when it floods." Like they'll just
No doubt.
switch on you and just
No
start
doubt.
talking about this or that.
100%.
And but you
I'm one to make sure I'm accessible, and I was that when I was in the Senate. I am that as council president now. I'm accessible. My number's online. You can call me. I get texts. I get emails. I get everything, and everyone gets an answer. Everyone gets an answer. They might not like the answer, but they get an answer.
That's great to actually get an answer. I don't want to use the word humanize, but I want to find like some common ground with you that I guess
That was my newspaper, Common Ground.
Oh, it was
My labor newspaper I had. Right, Joe?
So you guys, I think you guys have a little history there, but to humanize you a bit, you doing these great things for people, these social services, it's almost like you're on your way to being a saint. I know you're not going to do that, but
No.
but these things you're doing is like you're taking responsibility for others that you don't even know, like helping out strangers that other people can't wrap their mind around, that they're, I got my own problems. I don't need to go be reaching out to these people, but like when you have time to yourself, do you go into PJs and watch a Netflix show, or is there anything that's not related to your public image that you're into? Like I usually ask guys when I meet them, I say, "Hey, do you brew beer? Do you shoot darts? Or like do you watch Indy 500?" Like everybody's got a little thing you wouldn't know about them. Like what's something we wouldn't know about John Tassoni Jr.?
Well, I was a hockey player. I drove the Zamboni at the ice rink.
No way.
I was a captain of the hockey team in 1976. I refereed for 10 years. I'm a printer by trade. I used to print the Topps baseball cards. There's not many people that can say that.
I can't believe you drove this.
I worked at the ice rink for 10 years. I drove the Zamboni for 10 years. I refereed for 10 years. you know, my enjoyment is, and people think I'm crazy, is cut the grass. You know why? It's just me and the lawnmower.
Okay.
And my phone is not ringing. I have 5 jobs. 5 jobs. I'm the council president. I'm the president and CEO of the Substance Use Mental Health Leadership Council. I lobby at the State House. I have my own company, and I have the TV show. Not much in as far as enjoyment, because I think I've been here. I've been put here on this earth for a mission. At age 15, I spent 31 days in the hospital. Died twice.
What happened?
I had appendicitis, bad.
Oh.
And I was in the hospital for 31 days. And I died twice. Came back twice at age 15. And, you know, from there on in, I'm still here at 67.
And you remember? I mean, you were 15, so you remember. That
I remember
incident.
everything that happened to me.
Okay.
I even remember seeing the light.
Oh. Really? I was gonna ask. I figure you probably had a blanked out on that, but yeah.
Nope.
No, I don't. That's a whole different perspective. I could only imagine. I don't know. I never really. A lot of people don't think about their own mortality. I don't going through life. You have your own problems. You're busy with your own stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you know. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I'm glad you're here, Joe. Close us off, Joe. Do you do anything for fun, buddy? Come on. I know that
It
you.
bothers me.
Do you harass this man? What's going on, Joe?
No, I like hiking. We have a lot of great hiking trails in town. Stillwater Scenic Trail, Wolf Hill, Connor's Farm.
Is that your relaxation or something? Why do you choose hiking?
It's peaceful. You're in nature. You can appreciate nature, get away from all the insanity that's going on. And you can see the beauty that we have all around us.
Did somebody knock on this door? Oh, someone's knocking on the door. Oh,
So,
geez, sorry, Joe. Okay,
That's
yeah.
what I like, the outdoors. Let's protect it.
Yes. I remember you and I were talking about protecting the outdoors before. I
Yes.
agree with you, buddy. All right.
Thank
All right, so I guess I'm gonna close this off, everybody. There's nothing else we're gonna say. So everybody, I'm gonna give my camera a thumbs up. I'm gonna switch to you. I'm gonna switch to Mr. Tassoni. You want to give this camera right here a thumbs? He's got a little caricature. Oh, Recovery TV. Yeah,
Recovery TV, Saturday night, Sunday mornings.
I like it a lot. Joe, give that camera a thumbs up. Say, see you later, Smithfield.
See you later, Smithfield.
All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for everybody that watched the live. Let's end this. And live video.